You are looking to pass the Maryland real estate exam. This video is going to be a highlight to the meeting conducted by the Maryland Real Estate Commission in the month of September. The month of September was a little bit different in terms of it was held on September 27th, which is the last Wednesday of the month instead of the regularly scheduled meetings because they were attending the Maryland Realtors Conference. Reminder, you can always attend their meetings. They're held publicly, virtually, so you can log in from anywhere. Anyone can attend, and usually at the end, they are going to give you the opportunity for you to say something. The highlights of what I am going to share is what I digested. You are welcome to go to their website and read the minutes once they are approved and posted. Obviously, it doesn't beat you being present to hear everything that they're talking about, which once again is on the third Wednesday of every month at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Here's what they discussed. First, we shall start with a review. A review or reminder or note that for any individual that gets their real estate license after October 1st here in Maryland will be required to complete a 15-hour minimum continuing education course, and these 15 hours are broken down into different topics that are different from an individual such as myself who has been licensed for a while. So the first 2 years, the first cycle, they are going to complete a minimum of 15 hours of continuing education. The topics are broken down to the following: contracts, and these are 3 hours, brokerage relationship and disclosures, including seller disclosures. This is where we're going to dig deeper into that conversation as to what transpired when the Real Estate Commission met in September about that topic. We also have for 3 hours the conversation of advertising, escrow account, which if you're going to be going through reviewing for the exam, that's known as trust money or earnest money deposit. The conversation of condos, HOA, and co-ops, all that is a 3-hour class. And the last 3-hour class is on property management, focusing on when working with a landlord or tenant, what do you need to be aware of? So these 4 classes are 3 hours each. The remaining time is received from a 1.5 course on professionalism, and the last one is on real estate financing. What surprised you? Share that in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback as to the thoughts of these classes that once again will be taken by anyone who gets their license after October 1st, 2023. For your first cycle, these are the classes that you will need to take. Once you renew it, then the next cycle and thereafter, you will still be taking your legislative update, your fair housing, your code of ethics, your brokerage relationship and disclosures, and then 4.5 hours of electives for a salesperson. And then if you're supervising others, the conversation is going to be required of you to take supervision. What was discussed is the brokerage relationship and disclosures, SD, which is seller disclosure. Why we are pausing here is because currently all licensees are required to take as part of your continuing education, the brokerage relationship and disclosures class, BRAD. Some of you still reference that as agency. With the requirement for new licensees who get their license after October 1st, the conversation is to include seller disclosure. In order for a class to be taught, the school will normally create their own outline, submit it to the Real Estate Commission for approval before they offer it for continuing education. So the pause, or what they were discussing, is, do we let the schools create an outline and submit it for approval for this class, B.R.E.S.S, or does the Real Estate Commission create it? 90% of the content is already from the course that is controlled and facilitated by the Real Estate Commission. So the discussion went that the Real Estate Commission is going to be creating the course. At this point, what is going to be discussed this month in October is, are we going to create a whole new course, brokerage relationship and disclosure, seller disclosures, for just newly licensed individuals who get their license after October 1st? Or do they enhance the course that already exists, and therefore it shall be a class that is taken by all licensees? So that's a discussion that's going to be ironed out at the October meeting. My favorite part is numbers. This is where the Education Committee Chairperson is going to be sharing the numbers, which might be of interest to some of you because, again, here you're looking forward towards passing your real estate exam, whether it's a salesperson exam or the broker one. And some of you are looking to get some of your friends and family into the real estate industry. We shall start off with the salesperson exam numbers. For the month of August 2022, 905 individuals went to take the exam. These individuals could have taken the exam before, or they were taking it for the first time. Let's look at the numbers of individuals that went to take the exam for the first time in the month of August. We have 282 individuals that went to take it for the first time that month. Of that number, or from that number, 84 individuals passed the first try, both the national exam and the Maryland exam. The Real Estate Commission will also focus on, so what happened with the Maryland Real Estate exam? How many individuals were taking it for the first time that month? In the month of August, 57 individuals took the Maryland Real Estate exam, the law part of the exam, which is 30 questions on the salesperson exam. 57 people took that exam the first time. From that number 57, 26 individuals passed the Maryland part of the exam the first time. How does this look like on the broker exam? The broker exam is for the individual who has completed 135 hours and they have been licensed for 3 years as a salesperson. The broker exam will include the national content with 75 questions, and then you have 40 questions on the Maryland Real Estate exam. On the Maryland Real Estate law part. The numbers are 73 individuals went to take the exam, the broker exam, in the month of August 2023. There were 11 people that took the exam, both the national and the state part of the exam. 11 individuals took it for the first time in the month of August. From that number, 5 individuals passed the first try on the broker exam. When we're talking about the Maryland part of the exam, which again for the broker exam is 40 questions, 11 individuals took that part for the first time in August. From that number, 5 individuals passed. We would like to welcome you to take advantage of the resources that we have to make sure that you pass this exam. We do have a platform known as P.R.E.S.S, Pass the Real Estate Exam in Simple Steps, that focuses on the national part of the exam, whether you're doing the salesperson or the broker exam. Coming soon, we shall also be releasing our Maryland Law Study book or study guide, so definitely be on the lookout for that one. I'm excited about it. The other updates that were shared is a review from previous meetings, where a review on Radon being a requirement that when there's a residential transaction that there's going to be a test, and also including rentals, continues. This is something where it's going to be a bill that has to be worked on and go through the legislative process, so we shall know more in 2024. This conversation of background and fingerprinting as well continues. However, this is something, bear in mind, that's going to be probably in 2025 or 2026, to where again it will be a requirement for an individual to undergo a background and fingerprint check when they get in their Maryland real estate license, and also for the individuals who already have their Maryland real estate license when they are looking to renew. The executive director also presented their report. Keep in mind, for your Maryland real estate exam review, this individual is a state employee, not one of the 9 real estate commissioners. The 2 main points were the conversation of continuing education and just an update on the proposal to increase the fees. When we're talking about the fees, whatever has been proposed also has to go through a process, so we shall know more as we go further into the year and the coming year as well. Continuing education. Let's review that conversation. Here's where a reminder: all licensees are required to take 15 hours minimum of continuing education every 2 years. For those who've been licensed prior to October 1st, 2023, in review, that's a legal updates, that's a code of ethics, that's BRAD, brokerage, relationship and disclosures or agency, which are 3 hours. Fair housing is an hour and a half. And then you have electives of 4.5 hours for salespeople. For any broker, team lead or manager, you take broker supervision, which is 3 hours. Newly licensed as of October 1st, you'll have a different set of classes. You can go back to the beginning of this particular video and review those topics. So every 2 years, minimum of 15 hours. The other thing to review is for licensees, expectations are we are to confirm how many classes we have completed prior to the renewal. You will normally get a reminder at least 60 days prior to the license expiration, reminding you that your license is due to expire and the classes that you need to take prior to the expiration. Schools that provide these classes, who are approved by the Real Estate Commission, when you complete this class, the continuing education class, they are now required to upload that information to the Real Estate Commission website 3 business days after the class is over. They used to get 14 days, that now has been reduced to 3 business days. Maryland realtors will also have an opportunity to present why there are about 30,000 out of about the 50,000 licensees in Maryland that are members of this organization. And here's where they just give an update as to what they're working on. This is again what they are working on. So disclaimer is we shall see in the legislative session how far we shall get with these 3 topics. The first one is maybe to put something in place where you need to have renewed your license 30 days prior to expiration. That's a proposal. Bring back the conversation of wholesaling, which started last year. And the last one is to make any complaints to do with advertising amongst us, real estate licensees, to be anonymous as we are policing each other in this particular industry. Disclaimer again, we shall see where we shall end up in the legislative session of 2024. I thank you so much for making it so far. I hope you found something interesting. Share in the comments what was interesting to you. I will do my best to come back by the end of this month, hopefully, to share what they spoke about in the meeting, which is happening on October the 18th. Thank you so much. Have a great day. All the best.